Okay? The filing is being led by John J. Ray III. If you're not familiar with John Ray III, he's the guy that did the bankruptcy cleanup for Enron. So he's seen some stuff.
Yeah.
All right? I'll open with the first page. Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. This is from the guy who oversaw Enron as it was being cleaned up. From compromised systems integrity to faulty regulatory oversight abroad to the concentration of control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals, the situation is unprecedented. Right off the bat, basically, hey, I can't trust any of you. He then goes through the 4 major subsidiaries and basically says in each one, the balance sheet shows X in total assets. However, because this balance sheet was produced while the debtors were controlled by Mr. Bankman-Fried, I do not have any confidence in it, and the information therein may not be correct as of the date stated. Hey, we don't trust any of the information that's in here, basically. The other piece, okay, that is really astounding here. All of the financials that were produced for these companies did not include customer deposits as a liability for FTX. Which is mind-blowing. That is your own, that's your main liability, the fact that those customers can take the money, and if you've borrowed anything against it, you're in a hole and you can't dig out, to the tune of $8 billion. Other things that are really bad, okay? Just, again.
You know what's interesting about this, just so far that you've gone through, is the points that he is making seem to be concluding more on the side of negligence and idiocy rather than intentional fraud.
It starts getting towards intentional fraud in a little bit. Many of the companies do not have appropriate corporate governance, so they've basically put people in charge. Like, the guy who's heading up the main U.S. affiliate for the restructuring now is the guy who's dealing with Puerto Rico's restructuring. So, again, they're bringing in some pretty heavy hitters to deal with this. Cash management. FTX Group did not maintain centralized control of its cash. Cash management procedures included failures included the absence of an accurate list of bank accounts. They didn't even have all their bank accounts written down anywhere. They also had insufficient attention to the creditworthiness of banking partners around the world. So they had money
deposited places that didn't necessarily plan on paying them.
Because of this, the debtors do not yet know the exact amount of cash that FTX Group held as of the petition date. They don't even know how much money they had then. Okay? It gets worse. The audit firms for their financial statements. For one of them, okay, for specifically the main, like, FTX, the FTX.com, the audit firm for the .com silo was Prager Metis, a firm which I am not familiar with and whose website indicates they are, quote, the first ever CPA firm to open its metaverse headquarters in the metaverse platform Decentraland. That's who was auditing the company, okay? Other things. At this time, the debtors have been unable to prepare a complete list of who worked for the FTX Group or the terms of their employment. They don't even know who worked for the company because there's no record of that, okay?
What do you say you do here?
Let's take a quick break, and I have to keep going because there's more here. I know we got to go to break.
Well, there is, and then there's
it gets
all
worse,
sorts
Mike.
of further implications beyond just this. I mean, we're going to be talking soon about the celebrity endorsements, and yeah, it just keeps on going.
How many pages is that, Chuck?
It's 30. I'm through 16. Mike, here's the tease for the worst part of it. One of the biggest outstanding liabilities that FTX has is $3.3 billion to Sam Bankman-Fried himself.